Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. I really appreciate you being here. Today we have a little bit of stormy weather. Feeling a little bit scratchy here. Not COVID, guys, not COVID, but a little bit under the weather, I guess. Matter of fact, if you can hear it, there's a big thunderstorm going on right now. So if this all shuts off, I'm probably just going to leave it in it. I'm going to leave it in the video. You'll see. I'm gone. Anyways, guys, today it's stormy weather for sure, but not just the tea that I'm drinking, but we're going to be breaking up Olympus, guys. We're going to be breaking up Olympus. Sad, sad times. Sad times, guys. Sad times. We predicted it, but the time is near. It is right now. So before I get into it, I want to say, if you haven't picked up my ebook, go over to JCristina.com/ebook. Once again, JCristina.com/ebook. Pick it up. 10 tips of making sharper images, tack sharp images. Something there for amateurs, something for professionals. There's something for everyone. And it's free, guys. It's free. Go pick it up. Once again, JCristina.com/ebook. Anyways, let's get right into it. So just a few hours ago, Olympus made a statement saying that we are going to bring in JIP, which is the Japan Industrial Partners Inc., which is JIP, JIP, and going to use them to basically carve out a portion of Olympus. And that portion that's going to be carved out is their imaging department. Now, we spoke about this many moons ago. I said, listen, they just cannot continue like this. They are losing money hand over fist year upon year upon year. It's just, that's how it's been. And when I saw the advent of that EM1X, right, that micro four thirds, $3,000 camera, I was like, well, this is it, guys. This is it. This is Olympus's last hurrah. They tried going really high end because the low end wasn't working, and literally it was a shot in the dark, and no one saw the shot and no one even heard the shot. Okay? No one bought that camera. The numbers that I saw on that like a few weeks ago were abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Yeah, a few people that bought it, they said they liked it, but how many people bought it for $3,000 for a micro four thirds? It's just idiocy. I don't know what else to say. It just makes no sense. Doing that high-end $3,000 micro four thirds, I think that was the nail in the coffin. That was just simply it. They tried to do it, but it just didn't work. And that's just it. So what they said here, I want to quote, they said that they're carving out, Olympus is carving out this new company, and they're going to call it just NewCo, right? New company for now. There will, I'm sure, be a name to it, but we'll call it new company. And it is going to have the entire imaging department, the whole imaging division, all its funds, all of its funding, all of its R&D, all of its patents, all of everything. JIP are going to move all of this into this new company that's going to be under management of this JIP Inc. All right. They are basically a firm, I would imagine, that does this type of thing where they're taking a large whole company and then dividing it and making smaller companies out of it. We see Sony do it. We see a lot of companies do that. And why is it? Well, it's so that if the one entity continues to lose, they can cut that entity without affecting the whole. And Olympus does a lot more than just cameras. Now, Olympus has been doing cameras since 1936, I think it was. So they've been doing cameras for a long time. They were the first, I believe, the first company to do like a micro-size tape recorder way back in the day when there was actually tapes, not digital. So they've been around forever, making glass, making cameras, making tape recorders and whatnot. So they've been around for a long time. But even they said that, listen, we just cannot sustain. We just cannot sustain. They say they implemented measures to cope with the extremely severe digital camera market due to, amongst others, rapid market shrink caused by the evolution of smartphones. Does this sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? We've been talking about this for a long time, how smartphones have been just adversely affecting camera sales. Doesn't matter which manufacturer you're talking about, we're looking at a halving of the market in half every single 2 years. So if the company's selling $10 million worth of camera equipment, let's say, or cameras, in 2 years, it'll be 5 million. 2 more years will be 2.5 million. In 2 more years, it's $1.25 million. A halving every 2 years. It's abysmal. So what they have said is, look, it's smartphones for them. Why is that? Well, because the cameras that they are selling are smartphone-esque, let's say. They have a micro four thirds sensor in it, which they are amazing. The pen camera is an amazing camera. But what has happened is we're seeing smartphones getting larger and larger sensors in them, more and more sensors in them, so they can have a wide angle, a medium, and a telephoto in the same camera phone, right? So there's a lot of things that have been going on with smartphones that really directly compete with micro four thirds. And I've said this in the past, and people said that I'm crazy. Micro four thirds is just going to go the way of the dinosaur. APS-C is going to be the new micro four thirds. Full frame is going to be the new APS-C, and eventually we're going to see medium format being the full frame of yesterday. That's just how it is. I mean, and these micro four thirds cameras are going to be smartphones. That is it. That is it. Now, in this article, they state Olympus has improved the cost structure by restructuring the manufacturing bases and focusing on high-level added interchangeable lenses, aiming to rectify the earning structure to those that may continue generating profit even as sales dwindle. Basically, what they're saying is we're going more into the OMD line because the pen is just not doing it. There's no sales there. And that's what they were saying that they tried doing, and it just simply has failed on its face. They said also that despite all such efforts, Olympus's imaging business recorded operating losses for 3 consecutive fiscal years, ending the last one, March 2020, that are underwater. You can't lose money for 3 years and expect to be in business, right? So the imaging department has just been taking a toll on Olympus proper, the entity. And Olympus said, we need to hire a firm. We need to get someone in here to chop off that bleeding portion of the body so that we can make a new body with it and then see if it can sustain. And if it can't, so be it. So the way they word it is Olympus considers that by carving out the imaging business and by operating the business with JIP, which is that managing firm, the imaging business's corporate structure may become more compact, efficient, and agile, and it is the most appropriate way to realize its self-sustainability and continuous growth, and to bring the value to the users of our products as well as our employees working in the imaging business. All that basically says the imaging department is failing. We're going to break it apart, and let's hope that it is self-sustainable. Because if it's not, we now have the ability to sell that portion, that new company, as they call it, the new CO, right? NewCo. All right, whatever they call it, that's yet to be determined. But then they have the ability to sell that to another party without having to sell the entire Olympus as whole. A lot of these companies are doing that. It just makes sense. If the imaging business is not working, you need to break it apart from the medical or whatever else that you're doing, because there's no reason to take the entire ship down because a portion of it is leaking profusely. and has been for 3 years. They also said that JIP with the NewCo, the new company, will have full access, like I said, to the OM-D as well as the JCristina line of lenses and all of the rest of their patents, their R&D, everything, their IP, their intellectual property. That NewCo will have it all. Olympus proper will no longer have anything having to do with the imaging business. That will be it. So basically what will happen is Olympus's imaging business will be transferred to the NewCo, we don't know what the name is as of yet, by way of company split or otherwise, and then shares in the NewCo will be transferred to a new company to be established by JIP. So it's like an interim. This NewCo is an interim to figure out where this is going to go or what the name of this business, this imaging business, will be. It says that the signing of this agreement should happen or is scheduled to happen by September 30th, 2020, and this should be all done, closed, broken apart of Olympus by December 31st, 2020. So we understand that by the end of this year, there is no more Olympus cameras as such. It will be a camera with a different name on it. So finally, they say, prior to the closing of the transaction, that's what's going on here, Olympus plans to implement structuring reforms to the imaging business, aiming to change the business structure of the imaging business to be more profitable and sustainable. What? Lipstick on a pig? What? I mean, if you could do that, you don't need to break apart the company. Going forward, you're going to go and try to make it more profitable and sustainable? What do you mean? I mean, that's the kind of stuff, and this is what happens whenever these companies come and put together these press releases. Sometimes they just absolutely make no sense, right? They make it sound like if they're going to now go and start trying to fix this when they're in the means or talks of breaking apart and calling it a day. It just doesn't make any sense. And reading through the article more, they're talking about how they're doing this basically to help the customers and help their employees. Whereas, I mean, anyone with half a sense or put 2 and 2 together and it doesn't equal 5 will see that they're doing it just like any other company would, as a means to cut off that infectious piece so that if it ends up withering and dying, it doesn't take the entire corporation with it. That's it. That's it. That's the skinny. So, like I said, guys, it's a sad day. It's a sad day. Did we predict this? Yes, we did, but I was really hoping it wouldn't happen. I had so many people that just used to give me hell when I said that Olympus is pretty much done. And when I saw that EM1X come out, I said that is the nail in the coffin. All right, that is their last hurrah. There's no way for them to take a Micro Four Thirds sensor and be able to sell it for $3,000. I don't care what the kit is. I don't care how waterproof, water resistant it is. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. There's not enough people that would buy that. Are there some people out there that would? Yes, of course, but not enough. And the bottom line that we've seen from Canon, from Sony, from Nikon now, they're trying to create cameras, all right, that can be sold to the public at a reasonable cost. Now, yes, the public would love, for example, on the Canon side, a $4,500 R5. But the public will be very happy with a R6 at $2,000 some dollars. Okay? There is a point. There is a point where people just don't want to pay. Things are only as valuable as the maximum that anyone will pay for them. I don't care what it is. And if a Micro Four Third is no longer valuable because people do not see the value in it because their phone is doing something similar or their phone is good enough, well, If that's the case, you cannot sell the Micro Four Thirds camera. There's just no way to do it. So, like I said, it's a sad time. It really is. I hate to see Olympus leave the market. Now, people are going to be like, well, I absolutely love, my pen. I absolutely love my Olympus cameras. What's going to happen? Am I going to be able to get, any type of support for my OMD, or, what's going to happen with my lenses? What's going to happen? I think that you'll probably be safe for at least another couple of years. This transaction will probably happen by the end of the year as it's slated. I don't see why it wouldn't. And then what would end up happening is they will have to see if they can make that NewCo, all right, whatever they call it, sustainable, profitable. What are they going to do to be able to make that happen? If that NewCo continues to bleed, they are going to sell off the entire NewCo corporation. All of its IP, all of its intellectual properties, everything, right? The names, the branding, everything will be gone. And someone like Sony might pick it up if they see a value in it. If they don't, it might just go the way of the dinosaur. As I said, Micro Four Thirds would eventually. So like I said, it's just a sad day, I think, for the entire industry. You're talking about a company that has been making cameras for nearly 100 years. I don't know, is it 90 some, whatever it is. A lot of time has went into making cameras by Olympus. So just to see them kind of just break off into this new company that will most likely end up being dispatched within a year or so is absolutely sad. Absolutely sad. So I want to know from you, what do you think? What do you think about Olympus? Do you think that they will end up breaking up this piece like they said by the end of the year, or do you think that might not go through? If it does go through, how long do you think NewCo, whatever it's called, will last? How long do you think you'll be able to sustain before that NewCo gets sold or just nixed altogether? All right. And finally, do you own an Olympus camera? What do you think about it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think Olympus could have done to make a go of it? I've said this in the past. I said that they needed to go away from Micro Four Thirds and they needed to go into APS-C or full frame. I also said this about Panasonic. Panasonic was doing Micro Four Thirds forever. Micro Four Thirds, Micro Four Thirds. I remember talking, I'm not going to name names, one of the upper echelons over at Panasonic and saying, you need to do away with this Micro Four Thirds. You're basically at end of life. And I want to name him, but I'm not. He just lit into me and said, you're 100% wrong. You don't understand the market. You don't understand that professionals don't need APS-C. They don't need full frame. Micro Four Thirds is good enough. You saw what Panasonic ended up doing. And he's still there with the company. Full frame, guys. Full frame. All right? You have to make something that people want. The writing was on the wall. So that's my personal opinion. I think that's what they could have done. They could have moved into APS-C, maybe even full frame. Maybe that EM1X could have been a full frame unit for $3,000. But the problem with that is being not profitable for 3 years straight. The imaging department could not afford the R&D needed, to implement a new sensor. That's my opinion. Anyways, what's your opinion? Let's have this discussion. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please throw it a big thumbs up. That'll be very helpful to me and, of course, the channel. Don't forget also to slam that subscribe button so you can get all of my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon somewhere right around here so when it is available you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website JCristina.com where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like, and if there is, please pick it up and support me. I would really appreciate it. That's it. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. I'm going to finish up my tea. you want some of these, go over to darkmoonteas.com or head over to my website, JCristina.com. And use coupon code YT20 at checkout. YT20 will give you 20% off anything that you order from my website, JCristina.com. That's it. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.